Hey man, what's happening? It's Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man, here with another podcast episode in the podcast. I still have not put together the best production that I would like to do, and that's coming because I got my hands in so many different little pots. So y'all bear with me. And a lot of people, who do podcasts and they do weekly podcasts, which I have not. And probably wouldn't do one weekly until, one, I got a co-host, two, probably a larger audience that it requires me to put out and disseminate that content, and three, the distribution platforms that's going to reach a large mass of people in a short amount of time. So I kind of do mine on whim. It's kind of more like a current event thing for me. And I got a lot of content up, but I still have not done that perfect production like I want to. And you'll see once I actually get to it. But I'm blogging, podcasting, social media, and, I'm a one-man band. So y'all bear with me. A lot of people tell me they like the game that I'm spitting. So that works. At least let me know I got an audience to shoot at as we continue to build. Today, briefly, what I want to talk about is Robert Sylvester Kelly, a.k.a. R. Kelly, R&B sensation, R&B icon, R&B legend. The dude who has restored more careers in the music industry probably than any artist in the R&B soul genre, from the Isley Brothers, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. Oh man, the list goes on. Aaliyah. I don't know who he ain't worked with. If he ain't worked with him, he wrote behind the scenes some kind of way or another. As many of you know, R. Kelly has been deemed the sexual abuser by many young ladies inside the music and entertainment industry and outside, who said they were being held against their will, being forced to do sex acts that they didn't want to do, being assaulted, and being underage. So I may have spoke on this, and I think I said something before, and I'm going to say it again for the most part. R. Kelly got a pussy problem, and that's to be understood. I'm hoping he ain't never slept with a 13-year-old. I'm hoping. 16, still a little young. 18, still a little young. 21 would be considered young in most aspects. And then it depends on what country you in. Because some men be marrying, women that's 20 years younger than them. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, we know he got a pussy problem. And I'm trying to really put this in perspective. When you look at the other community that has been doing this quite some time, it's a norm inside the entertainment industry. So you could look at Hugh Hefner, who might be 70, and he got a 21-year-old girlfriend. You could look at a Harvey Weinstein. You could look at a Woody Allen, who I think married somebody who was 13. It's a number of individuals who have dated below the waistline and have not been chastised. Rob Lowe, he got into it. I think he did something with a youngster. So you dealing with a double-edged sword, man, when it comes to white society. And as they say, a white man has no laws that a black man is bound to respect. Coming up off the Dred Scott decision, when Dred Scott was trying to claim his freedom. For many of you who do not or have not ever been in the music industry, the entertainment industry, or just at least stood at the door, you don't even really understand the magnitude of what's going on. R. Kelly is a replication of what already has been done and has been going on for many, many, many years, centuries, decades. And a lot of these dudes don't get caught because they in the pocket. For example, the young lady, I think her name is Tamala Hudson Harris, that's from South Georgia, that lives in South Georgia, Forsyth County, was recently about 4 months ago found dead in the front yard of a white woman's house who had a sleepover for her girlfriends, 7 white women and 1 black woman, which was Tamala. So the next morning, Tamala's found dead in their yard. Mind you, now they in their yard, and this woman is dead. Supposedly, according to the toxicology report, she had Xanax, she had some, a high amount of alcohol. But when you look at the house, anybody knows that the house 2 stories up, it's not gonna kill you. You might break your neck, you might break an arm, just depends on how you fall. But hypothetically, you're not going to be dead. And many people don't know the history of Forsyth County. Forsyth County is a Ku Klux Klan stronghold. It's a 94 to 96% white population with a 2 to 4% black population in the city. So if you running for city council, it don't matter. You ain't going to win. If you're trying to make an impact in Forsyth County and get white folks to lean towards black interests, that's not finna happen. In 1987, man, I think they had a march in commemoration of some of the individuals that had been hung, and Ralph David Abernathy was the lead head for that march, in which case thousands of white folks came out. A lot of Ku Klux Klan members and Confederate flag holders came to oppose the march. And nigga this, nigga that. Okay, well, that wasn't but like 20, 25 years. Well, about 25 years ago. Maybe, well, no, I'm almost say 30. We'll say about 22, 23 years ago. And as a result, it wasn't no different than the 1950s and 60s and 40s, except this time they had a little army, some people that actually helped keep this mob from beating their ass. But them dudes was still throwing shit. They was still, one white dude say, I think somebody's finger got cut off. The top of the finger got cut, dismantled because somebody threw something. They cut his finger. They had to use the bus to shield them so that they wouldn't get hit and whatever else. But this was recent. Forsyth County is a stronghold. So the young black lady with a mother of 5 kids is dead. And they spent 4 months, but the police came to the conclusion she died from a fall from the balcony. She had Xanax. She had alcohol in her system. And we closing the case. So here's the family left with no real understanding of how the man's wife died, how the children's mother died, but what these folks over here is telling you. And at the end of the day, everybody knows it's bullshit. But when you understand the order of a thing and how it moves, and everybody's washing each other's hand to ensure that this don't become a problem, then you understand what you're dealing with in the inner workings of the secret world, the secret societies, and all the stuff that goes along with it. So the woman's husband, whose house it was, he immediately, because he was employed by the city, tapped into the back office, got a hold of the police report, and done something with the police report to ensure his safety and his wife's safety, because whatever could have been on the police report, he had to eradicate that and make sure it wasn't going to come back to incriminate him and his wife. So supposedly he was fired for accessing that information, but it wasn't illegal according to what the news reports say in regards to that. It wasn't illegal. But here, these folks made sure. So you got 7 white women, if I'm not mistaken. It would be 6, maybe 7. I'm going to say 7, including her would have made 8. 7 white women in the house, and y'all having a sleepover, which means y'all not all going to be cuddled up in the bed. Y'all not all going to be cuddled up in the room. It's going to be a few people on the couch, a few people on the floor. It might be the main host staying in her room with her husband or what have you. But you telling me that all these people didn't see this woman get? So the other side of the story is they found her in the front yard, beat to death. Somebody beat her. Now, it was 3 men that came in the house, one of which was her, the white lady's husband, and supposedly 2 other men. You in Forsyth County, Ku Klux Klan stronghold. These folks still represent the Klan. They just don't outwardly come out and say it. But they still very racist and prejudiced. And whatever happened in 1944, if I'm not mistaken, when they hung some black men who allegedly was supposed to be a participant in some white girl that came up missing, and the black men weren't, and they hung them from trees and hung them from poles or whatever, they drove all black occupants of that city out. That's why it's 94 to 96% white. So these people still harbor ill feelings. Now, Oprah Winfrey went down there and did a show, and the audience was white. And most of the people in there was nigga this, nigga that. We don't want these niggas here. Black people are cool, but it's the niggas that come through that disturb the peace. Why don't they just stay in Atlanta? We don't want to be bothered. Blase, blase, blase. But once Oprah and them did that show, they had to get the hell on. Because they knew they wasn't welcome in Forsyth. And Forsyth County is a sundown town. You got to be out of there by 6, or you got to be out of there by 10, whatever the number is. You know, and a lot of people don't even know about sundown towns. You dig? So most people don't know about the inner workings of the secret world that runs the planet, that runs the society, the politics, the education, the entertainment, hell, in every industry, damn near. Government, whatever, man. A lot of people don't know. So sliding back over to R. Kelly is in an industry that's ran by white folks, white Jews, and then you have black gatekeepers, and the black gatekeepers are responsible for making sure that you fall in line with the necessary stuff. So when R. Kelly started, he probably was a nice guy with no evil intent. But we all heard about his past. He had been molested. So he was carrying some pain. He's been carrying the spirit on him. But all of that to say, nonetheless, he still dabbled and played in a playground that could lead to possible jail time, in which case he went to court for sleeping with a youngster, and it was put on tape. He got off. Here we go again. Now, this particular time around, some black woman, forgot her name, executive produced a story about surviving R. Kelly. And it seems like no matter, even though we know R. Kelly got some issues and we're pretty sure he's guilty, you can rest assured it's going to be some black woman somewhere that's always the demise, that brings about the demise of some black man, even if he positive at times, because they use y'all as the scapegoats to bring down those that they want to bring down. It was said Malcolm X, somebody, a woman, and I don't know if it was his wife or somebody in his camp was responsible for his demise at some point. Or should I say, was it him? Khalid Muhammad. I think it was Khalid Muhammad. Correct me on that. I'm sorry, Khalid Muhammad. I think it came back that he had some, his ex-wife or whomever might have had been reason for his demise. Excuse me. Let's scratch Malcolm X from that right now. But the reality of it is, most don't know. So you get what you get, which is the surface level information conversation, and you judge it. Like, first of all, I would suggest y'all definitely look up R. Kelly's cousin. Go to YouTube and type up, I think it's Jazz for Kelly or something like that. Just type in R. Kelly cousin and it'll come up. And he makes some great points. Now, R. Kelly, in my personal opinion, after really sitting back watching the man, is a nice guy with a pussy problem. I know partners that got pussy problems. They ain't dipping that low, but they got some issues, Some of us all fell victim to, being persuaded by women or doing something we shouldn't have did with a woman or being persuaded to do something we know we're not supposed to. So we're not going to get R. Kelly a pass. Okay, he messed with some youngsters. It is what it is. But you don't understand the other side of the game, which is the Illuminati side of the game. The folks that's really after R. Kelly for the money, for the power and control of the masters to ensure that he is bankrupt. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was supposed to buy or wanted to buy NBC. He got out of pocket. He got out of position. They murdered his son. You know what I'm saying? And then as time went on, he started talking loud, started talking proud. And then what? They pulled his card again. And then they brought up women from way back that he supposedly slept with and did quaaludes with back in the 70s. And they couldn't get him on that. So they had to get somebody that was closer to a more appropriate time. And boom, they got him. He in jail. He might be doing 2 to 3 years. And what? So that they can prove, because they can't really get to his money. He too wealthy now. But they could tarnish your legend, tarnish your reputation, your history. Same thing with R. Kelly. R. Kelly is probably one of the greatest songwriters to ever live. He's probably one of the greatest performers and musical artists of his time. But his reputation is tarnished now. Michael Jackson, they say he a pedophile. Prince, they say he was a drug overdoser. These people work hand in hand and work candidly, man, to ensure you're not going to leave the planet without some stain on your reputation. And a lot of y'all be caught up in the emotional. My thing is, okay, so he got a pussy problem. Where is the therapy at? Where are the therapists? Where are the people that want to get with dude and help dude recover? See? Because maybe that part of his life never got recovered. And you working in the industry with a bunch of devils. So now R. Kelly is in custody. He turned himself in, which was the smartest thing to do. But they was going to get something quick on him because he was finna go tour. And he wouldn't have had to come back to the States. So they had to hurry up and dredge up something. Somebody had to come up with something. Then you got the other side where, you got these families, man, with these kids and they the parents and they willing to exploit their children so that they could do what? Gain a buck, gain an advance, and get some money off of it because they didn't advance a lot of them back in the day, or they didn't advance recently when they thought they was going to advance because they was trying to blackmail R. Kelly, man, and put some money out there. Just like that Jocelyn Savage chick. Now he in jail. Okay. Where is she? She can come out. See, ain't no grown man that's a multi-millionaire got to hold no woman hostage. They gonna stay with you because they want to be there. Now, they may get out of line and you may check him. He may have been a little forceful at times to letting them know he wasn't with the BS, dealing with some kids. And when kids do what they do, like an adult, you're gonna say something. You see? But at the end of the day, you got to hold nobody hostage. Hell, the nigga ain't even home half the time. He in the studio. He on the road. Them women free. They coming free and they going back and forth freely. To the mall, to the shop. They ain't going home to live in that bullshit that their parents got. So I personally don't think the man held nobody hostage. I think his ex-wife is a liar. Because 1 minute on video, she, and this is recent. She's co-signing on him and his talent and his abilities and how he's restored other people's careers. And then on the other side, somebody that slipped her some money. Now she condemning the man. But she got 2 and 3 kids with the man. And the man did this, the man did that. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Where's the police reports? Where are the files that show that you was getting abused and beat up on? Because there would be pictures of that shit. You would have that stuff. If he was really the abuser that you say he was, you would have pictures of that. Because you're going to take that and you'll be at the police. And he would have been got arrested. So it's a game. And you inside the belly of the beast. And when you inside the belly of the beast, you know what I'm saying? They gonna manipulate it. So it's not about the black women. They could get 2 shits about them black girls, man, screwing that man and being sexually abused or so-called him being a pedophile. They don't care nothing. You white folk don't care nothing about that. It's about power and control. And that's what it's always about. It's about the money. It's about the ownership of wealth and resources. It's about the control of the masters. Sony supposedly dropped R. Kelly, but they ain't give him his masters back. Because after all the smoke cleared, guess what? They going to run them songs, and them songs going to make them some more money. They not finna take them songs and throw them away. Them songs is going to be all together. So R. Kelly didn't do what Sam Cooke did, which Sam Cooke tried to go for the independent thing and really bubble. They murdered Sam Cooke. Kelly's still in the system. And the only one that really got it like that is Master P. He true independent. He just used them for the distribution. But his songs don't be played on the radio because they ain't finna let that nigga make all that money, man. I mean, he made a lot of money, but they ain't gonna let him make a lot of money, a lot more money. They pissed at Master P. Master P is a true black-owned independent businessman. So to get off of here, what I want to say is as simple as this. It's a double-edged sword that a lot of people don't see, don't understand. It's secret societies that run shit that you don't know nothing about. It's deeper than just, he got a pussy problem. He been messing with little girls. It's much deeper than that. That's the surface level shit. That's the shit that they use to bring him in. But he know. Just like he went to see Farrakhan. Ain't no telling what they talked about. It'll never be divulged in its entirety. And a lot of y'all, man, y'all gullible because y'all always take what they give you first. Just like Tamala down here in Forsyth County, Georgia. That got something to do with the Klan, man. That got something to do with the racist nature of some white folks in America. You don't go to no white woman's house, have a sleepover, and end up dead unless somebody was already plotting and planning your demise. So now, when they send her to the coroner, guess what? He might pull out her heart. He might pull out her kidneys. He might pull out some lungs. He might extract some melanin and sell that shit because somebody needs that because they trying to stay alive. This is the nature of the beast that you dealing with. The same thing with that other young boy down here in Clayton County, Georgia. If I'm not mistaken, it was Clayton County, went to the high school, and all of a sudden, man, he ends up down in the basement, get hits in the head, and they say he fell into a mat. And then all of a sudden, his parents can't seem to get no answers. And the white boys that did do it, they blamed it on them. But everybody playing dumb, the mayor, the police, the coroner. But the dude's organs is missing. And his parents ain't never get no justification because everybody washing each other's hands. This is a game that you can't even understand how deep the rabbit hole goes. R. Kelly getting caught up on some pussy, please. It's deeper than that. Y'all want to mute R. Kelly for what? Instead of saying, man, this dude need therapy, somebody need to get to that man so we can find out how we can help. You see, this is the thing about black folk. Black folk quick to condemn. Y'all act like, y'all take most people don't do no research. Y'all take what they give you on the first phase, first level conversation, and you use that to condemn and do the judgment. Straight up. Straight up. So I'm going to end it. And I'm going to say it's like this. The Illuminati and the backlash that comes with dealing with them is really what you're dealing with. So somewhere along the line, this dude that did something, man, he either pissed somebody off or somebody was pissed off and they started the wheels to turning. And that Surviving R. Kelly documentary was the fuel they needed to bring that shit back to the surface. And now he in custody for sexual assault, 13 charge counts of sexual assault and probably pedophile, child pornography. Ain't no telling, man, what they gonna come up with. But he got 10 charges on him, man. So don't look like he gonna be going nowhere for a while. This time he'll probably get convicted. And there goes R. Kelly, one of the greatest R&B soul singers of our generation, down the drain. And his legacy will be he was a pedophile. When you got all these white boys over here who pedophiling daily and they getting off. And black folks ain't in an uproar about them. And could care less. Hey man, I'm Cool Water, the digital dope man. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at thedigitaldopeman.com. Check us out on Spreaker. And look for Cool Water. Or look for the podcast, the Barroom Chats. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.